Welcome to Let's Talk. Here we will focus on the hustle, the juggle, and everyday struggle of small business. We will be here every week talking to small business owners about their everyday struggles, stresses, and ways they have been able to overcome the challenges of running their business. We welcome questions and comments, so please feel free to email us at admin@PlemonsCPA.com. We hope you enjoy, and above all, we hope it helps. Well, good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are. This is the hustle, juggle, and struggle of small business. My name is Thalia Williams, and I am your host. We are proudly sponsored by Pontum Financial, connecting your financial dots. Today, we have in our studios Mr. Eliot Paulk. Awesome guy who has some phenomenal experiences in business. Eliot, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Thalia.
So kind of give us some background. Tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your business. Right. Businesses, plural.
Right. Exactly. I think they call a serial entrepreneur when I was growing up. But realtor, I'm one of the third part of the managing members of the Notary Hand. We assist a lot of closing for real estate here in San Antonio, Texas. I've been doing it about 10, maybe 11 years now. Mm-hmm. Also, kind of a silent investor. I help a lot of other small businesses, kind of get them going. But I like to remain way in the background.
So, based on your bio, you're retired military. Thank you.
Well, not retired.
Not retired?
But yeah, I did 8 years. I get that a lot. Like, oh, you're retired. I always want to specify that. Yeah, I did 8 years. All right. In hindsight, I wish I would have retired. Okay. But some things happened, and I did 8 years in the Army and got out. Okay. But I was stationed right here in Fort Sam.
Were you?
So
you didn't go anywhere?
Well, no, I did. I went over. I was in Germany. I was, different other places here in the States. Mm-hmm. But I was here at Fort Sam. And I fell in love with San Antonio. So I said to myself, once I get out, I have to come back to San Antonio. And that's what I did. So I'm originally from Florida, from Fort Lauderdale. Mm-hmm. I went home for maybe almost a year. When I got out, I was like, yeah, it's too much. And came on back and been here ever since.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, that's good. So the military opened your eyes to a different aspect of life, so to speak.
Right? Hands down.
Traveling the world. Did that help whet your entrepreneurial spirit, or was it always there?
I guess, now that I think about it, it would have to be, in the military, going overseas and seeing different demographics, different things, kind of wet my whistle on wanting to start my own when I got out. Also, the struggle of once you got out thinking that, hey, I was in the military, I'll be able to, land $1 million job overnight when I get out, and finding the realization of that it doesn't work like that. Mm. So once I got out and I had someone tell me, hey, well, what do you like to do? Let's slowly, the blueprint wasn't there yet, but what is it that you like to do? And from there, I kind of started, dabbling here and there and kind of finding my niche on what I want to do. And then I've had computer companies, I've cleaning companies, did some consulting for a while. I mean, I've done a little bit of everything, holding my own as far as a company is concerned, or being an entrepreneur. But I've been stuck, not necessarily stuck, but where I am right now, I love as far as the realtor side, but more so as a closing agent. So I've been doing this for the last, like I said, 10, almost 11 years, and I love it. Like, this is what I really, really like.
So why that particular type of services? Out of all the ones that you've done, out of all the businesses and industries you've been in, what specifically about that kept your attention for these past 10 to 11 years? So
here's a crazy story. So I'm pretty much an introvert, unless I'm speaking about business or like family. But when I get a microphone sometimes, I'm allowed to go out and kind of be this funny, person, like to have a good time, like to host parties and stuff like that too. But this job allows me to meet people every single day because I'm only in their lives for maybe, let's say, an hour or two when we're closing. I'm on stage every day. I'm able to use those same jokes, get the same laughs, because you'll never see me after I've given you the keys to the house, Yeah. So
nice knowing you.
Yeah, essentially, and 95% of everyone I speak to or we close on a home, they're happy. They come in happy. So I'm happy. So I come in with my 2 or 3 jokes. We talk about the house, things, and you get to know somebody in that time frame. So I really like this because I'm with people that genuinely are happy in a society where we are today. a smile means a lot right now. Mm-hmm. So and like I said, I've been doing this almost 11 years, and it's strictly because I get to perform, but make them happy because they're coming in. They're getting the American dream. I'm taking part in that. So yeah, I really and truly enjoy what I do.
And it kind of helps ease the anxiety of how many sheets of paper they have to put their names on.
Listen, out of 170 pages, I talk you through all 170.
Wow. I'm going to have you at my closing next time, okay?
Yeah. And we get you in and out. I give you all information, but at the same time, I get to find out who you are, what you like, your favorite color, how many kids you have, where you've been. We're Military City, USA, so a lot of times the military component comes up, So there's stories, there's a lot of things that happen. So yeah.
So what has been some of the challenges, we'll just say, of your entrepreneurship life? Not necessarily this particular business, but just out of all the things that you've done, what have been some of the challenges you've had?
Loyalty, funds, and family.
Oh, delve deeper, my friend.
Right. So, in business, a lot of them, kind of mesh together, but, in business, the cheapest way is to hire family when I first started out. You know what I mean? I love my family, they know that. But it's sometimes hard to separate personal, from personal from business. So it in the beginning, it was a little hard, trying to get sister, cousin, whoever to help work and kind of
bodies.
Right, just bodies to kind of see my vision of, hey, we'll make $1 million, but we got to start here, sweeping the floor, we got to paint the walls, and not actually physically hire someone to do it. So that was some of the struggles. And that loyalty component, unless you physically sign the contract saying, hey, I'm doing business with you, handshakes are out the window now. So whatever I charge for my service right now, someone can come behind me and charge $1 less. That's who they're going with. Doesn't matter how great I am, how long I've been doing this, whatever amenities I bring to this, it doesn't really matter when they can get it $1 cheaper. And I always try to play the devil's advocate business-wise. If I was on the other end, of course, I would go with cheaper if I can get the same service, So I'm not too upset about it. But that loyalty component, I really wish was a lot stronger. Like if I've given you great business or service over the years, there shouldn't be any issue of me continuing when, we can kind of talk about it or, make some changes. But those have been some really hard struggles. And because I'm when I latch onto you, if I really like you, I really like you. I've done signings for free. I've gone to Dallas, Houston to do closings for friends. But now can you lower this price on a survey? Can you, et cetera, et cetera.
There's an expectation.
Right. So now it's, it's not there. And, I hold those things true. But, the loyalty part, family, and finances, that's probably everyone's struggle, trying to find the right avenue. Because again, there isn't a blueprint. There's a blueprint to start a business, but not a blueprint to hold on to the business, to secure those finances to after 2, 3, 5 years. There's understanding that if you get past 1 year, 2 years, you'll be successful, or 5, but that's not always true. There's the demographics, there's the peak. I mean, there's so many different variables. So
COVID.
Hey, enough said.
Something totally unexpected.
Literally from out of left field, COVID comes, and now what's your serviceability? How strong? How can you sustain through COVID? No one's made plans. There's no SOP. There's no rule book for COVID is here. Right. So if you're a face-to-face service component type of business, what are you doing now, and how are you surviving? Like I said, I know of, and everyone's heard the stories. Some top level people that were making so much, now they're zero unemployment because of COVID. So.
It's a big challenge, that's for sure. And learning how to pivot, knowing how to pivot, even when COVID hadn't happened, there were still some business ups and downs, economic challenges. Right. So learning how to pivot during the lesser of the impact, even though they were impactful then, but not as impactful as the whole planet shutting down. Right.
Well, the thing with maneuvering is I could look at someone else in my same business doing the same exact thing and find out how they maneuvered or kind of but there was no rule book for COVID. There was no rule book on the massiveness of how this would affect not just me, but every single person. So, who am I watching? Who am I looking? Who's my mentor when COVID happens? And finances don't really matter at that time. As far as trying to secure, COVID kind of, took over the world. So
undoubtedly. So why do you persist? Why do you persist? Even with what you have now, right? You pivoted from cleaning and other consulting to this, but why do you persist?
It sounds so when I say I love people and people, oh, dude, you're soft. Listen, I truly love people. I'm because of what's going on in the world. Just to put it, be very ambiguous. What's going on in the world right now? A smile, a hug, a laugh, every single day. If you talk to anyone who's come to a closing or who's around me, we have to laugh. We have to smile. We got to handshake, little side little side hug, elbows now, because of COVID. But I'm with this literally because of people. Like I get to see someone smile every day, and just the fact of I was a part of you smiling when we take pictures and we hold that key up, or I've seen tears of just, oh my God, this is my first home, or just those small things that we don't think about anymore. That's literally what brings me joy. I love dealing with people and the heart part of people. The part where no matter the hatred and the anger, but them getting a house or me being able to be a part of them obtaining that house I literally feel great doing it every day. So despite whatever I'm going through, you know what I mean? Hey, I helped 5-6 people today. I'm good. So, yeah.
Undoubtedly.
That's why I'm still here.
Hi, I'm here with Chris Hall from Pontum Financial. Chris, I've heard you talk about the difference between working in your business and working on your business. Could you elaborate a little bit for us?
One of the biggest things that we see with business owners is spending the proper amount working on your business versus working in your business. And as business owners grow, whether it's a product or service that they're distributing to the public, their attention tends to be pulled more away from working on the business to primarily or only working in the business. And that can create some real headache down the line. I'll give you a prime example. About 15 to 20 years ago, whenever some of these businesses really started to get established and started to take off, their entity selection for that particular type of business was established in a particular way. Some of the different business entities out there now weren't even available at the time. Nobody really wants to go sit down with an attorney unless they absolutely have to. But attorneys are a prime source of information for, hey, are we doing this correct? It worked really well when we first started this business, but is that what we want it to do? Is it doing what it needs to be doing? Is it serving the function that it needs to be serving? And is it going to be flexible enough to be able to make changes down the line? So how do we review that? And who do we bring into the conversation to analyze the different options that we have?
If we wanted more information from you in Pontum Financial, how can we reach you?
One of the best ways to reach me is to just call our office. We're right here in San Antonio off of 281 in Bitters. Our office phone number is 210-625-4845. You can follow us on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn as well, pontumfinancial.com, and it's PONTEM, Latin for bridge. So building the bridge from where you are to where you want to go.
Great. Thank you, Chris, so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Chris Hall is a partner with Pontum Financial and offers securities and investment products and services through Waddell & Reed, Inc., WRI, member FINRA/SIPC. Pontum Financial is a separate entity from WRI. How critical is support to you?
Support is extremely critical, but I've also found out that the head of that support team needs to be functional as well. You probably have heard, in business starting out, I did IT. I was in this same business, in every business. I was an IT person. I was accountant. I was HR, all the different nuances I had to be to get this going. And I was afraid to let those different departments go because I can control what was going. I could see what was going on. And, my fear of allowing someone to come in, hey, I'll just have you do the IT part or have you do billing or whatever the case may be. It was hard for me to let it go, but I saw the importance of support of, hey, I got to have somebody come in to support me. I got to create this team. But again, the head, meaning me at the time, I had to be functional to, train and be able to do these different.
Be willing to delegate,
right?
Verify but trust.
Right. And now I see myself, that was then, but having to kind of go back and forth between them was hard. But support is definitely needed. But the head of that support has to be more functioning. A much more functioning component before you can get support in. Make sure my stuff is together. So.
Got you. And delegation is the key for growth.
Yeah, it is.
Because you're only one person, and as you mentioned, wearing that multiple hats.
Oh,
You work so much in the business that you
Right.
look up and it's like, I just got to make the donuts. I got to make the donuts. I got to do this. I got to make the donuts.
And you don't have time to enjoy where you are right now. So, and that's great that you mentioned that, because I've literally with COVID, but I've had to stop and kind of see where I was 3 years, 5 years, where I am right now. Like, wait a minute, just kind of enjoy where you are, right now.
Take that pause.
Yeah, just to see what what's going on. So since then I've definitely delegated. I've given a lot of hats. I've given them away. Here, you take it. Just you create the headache, and not even have to look at whatever comes in. So
Trust but verify.
not even verified anymore, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and people know me. They'll tell you my trust factor used to be 0, because again, this is my baby. I don't want anyone to, this is what feeds my kids. This is what feeds the family, and I don't want you to mess it up. Was always my my issue. But I've had to let it go, and even now, not necessarily verifying anymore. You tell me we got 10 closings today, 10 closings. We end up with 8. I'll find out why we didn't do those 2, and just next day's coming. So whereas before, I used to research. Let's find out what happened to those 2. I need some stats. Hire a statistician. Let's see what's going on. Let's find out what's the percentage of me not getting. So yeah, it's to be really bad. But yeah, I've changed. COVID has made me change.
I can imagine it would.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So tell us about a failure you learned from.
That follows along the lines of the loyalty. I don't necessarily consider anything a failure. It's always a stepping stone or a learning component of business. But again, that loyalty factor, I put so much time and even finances into people or into things. And I always assume that, hey, if I give you $100 to start whatever it is, that means that we're, hey, we should be good to go, and let's grow together. I'm believing in what you're telling me. I'm selling water on the corner. Let's go. I got you. Let's try it out. My dream isn't their dream, and vice versa. So that loyalty component seemingly was, I'm not necessarily say a failure, but just learning that I can't believe in everyone. I can't invest in everyone or want everyone to do. And even though I really want everyone to do well, generally, yeah, it's not always going to work out that way. So I won't say it's necessarily a failure. It's just, I'm a lot more, what's a good word?
Due diligence?
Due diligence. But I mean, literally, it was, hey, I want to start a business. I had literally, let's talk. Let's put a blueprint together. Let's get 2 sheets of paper. And anyone knowing me, I would sit down with you and let's draw a plan out. What do you like to do? Let's go. I help you invest. Come on, let's try it out. Just try to get you going so we can, but that loyalty thing was my Achilles heel.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable. So tell us about a success you learned from.
Just this business itself, where I am. So we'll maybe adapt COVID to it, where if anyone's watching the market and watching the rates, success last year, probably within the last 10 years, hasn't been as great, except for, with the exception of last year. The rates kind of deem how work goes for me. And because the rates are so low, a lot of closings and a lot of, just here in San Antonio, the real estate market has been awesome. But last year seemingly was a great success for everyone across the board when it came to real estate. The lenders, the closers, the title, everything was great. I mean, it's still, still going on now with the rates being so low. I was hoping that will continue, but San Antonio was never really hit that hard because it's military USA. So someone's always buying, selling, and moving in and out. So things have been pretty successful, at least the last year for sure.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's really good to hear. So if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently, if anything at all?
I would probably create more of an open structure that allowed me to maybe see from a top versus, instead of me just being kind of,
in the trenches
in the
all
trenches
the time.
with him. Yeah, I would have created something where I could kind of maybe look a little more higher so I can see what's going on versus kind of being down. Because I believe in sweeping the floors with the workers. I believe in doing whatever needs to be done. But I think that if I could change anything, it would be to allow those positions to be open. Don't be so closed-minded and not allowing others to come in. Mm-hmm. But I've always felt it was fair that we did it together. We kind of learned together in the trenches, as you would say, together. But I think if I were to change anything, it would have, in the very beginning, it would be, hey, you know what? Let me create this department, or let me create this person, or let me have some more openness instead of trying to do it all myself.
So you would have maybe worked on the business versus working in the business so much.
Yeah, that's hit right on the head, yeah.
So any advice, words of wisdom, nuggets of things that, or anything that you'd like to leave with our audience today?
Love what you do and do what you love. Good, bad, or indifferent, we all are, it's cliche. We all have talents. We're all gifted with talents. A lot of us are in fear to jump on that talent, again, because of money or friends, whatever the case may be. But I'm a very big proponent of, hey, if you can make flip-flops, be the best flip-flop maker, you can, and let's put something behind it. Get 2 or 3 people, y'all make them together, see if you can sell them. I mean, and especially right now with the social media component and all these different avenues, if you look online, there's so many different things that people are doing that are innovative. Anybody can get in and really do anything right now. So whatever you love doing, continue doing it, be persistent at it, and, don't give up. And I know, again, it sounds cliche, but I really believe that, especially at a time right now, working for others is okay, but working for yourself, you have to look in the mirror a lot, versus when you're working for someone else, you put that shirt on and go right out the door. But working for yourself, you have to literally stop and look in the mirror. Okay, wait a minute. How do I look today? How do I feel today? I have this, it's a little more structured. So
undoubtedly. So how can our audience get in touch with you to either pick your brain, use you for closing, or what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
You know what? The Notary Hand, notaryhand.com is always the best way. Info@notaryhand.com is always the best. I have a very, let me say this slowly. I have an assistant who's keeping me in line over the last 2 years. So yes, I do have an assistant now for anyone. But get in contact with her. I think it's 210-651-1144. She keeps her phone with her 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. Yeah. So that's always the best way to get in contact with us. The great thing about us, which is a little bit different, we're 24 hours. 24 hours, which you're not supposed to say or tell anyone because it's supposedly it's something you can't do. But I've done closings at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I've had people come by to even get things notarized or documents to be looked at. And the great part, I don't live too far from my office. So whenever they call, I can always go in. But email or calling my assistant is probably the easiest way to get me. But now we also have other closing agents in the office as well. So if I'm not available, then we can always get you assigned to someone else. Get you going, get you closed the right way.
Undoubtedly. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Eliot, for being in our studio today.
Of course. Listen, I thank you so much for having me.
You all have a great day. For more information about any of our guests, or if you have questions and comments, please email us at admin@PlemonsCPA.com. And don't forget to check out our website, PlemonsCPA.com, for upcoming events and workshops in San Antonio.
David B Plemons CPA Inc. is providing this podcast as a public service, but it is neither a legal interpretation nor a statement of David B Plemons CPA Inc. policy. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by David B Plemons CPA Inc. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the Hustle, Juggle, and Struggle of Small Business podcast does not imply an endorsement of them or their concepts or any entity they represent. Views and opinions expressed by David B Plemons CPA Inc. employees are those of the employees and do not necessarily reflect the views of David B Plemons CPA Inc. or any of its officials. You should always consult your own investment advisors, attorneys, and accountants before making any decisions concerning your financial matters. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact our office.